Suppose Professional Golfing Association requires that the standard deviation of a golf ball be less than 0.004 inch. Determine whether golf balls conform to this requirement. Assume that population is normal. Okay, correct hypothesis. We're interested in the standard deviation of the diameter. So be standard deviation, and null is always equals, and 0.004 is the value we are looking at. And then alternative would be we are trying to see if it's less than, and then sample standard deviation. So this is something which we did long ago. So if you remember, it was stats, summary stats, columns. Select the column and compute. So the sample standard deviation is the one that appears by the name of just standard deviation. So 0.00168. Okay. And the test statistic. So this time it's not with summary, but with data. So you open it. And since we are hypothesis testing the standard deviation, so it will be variance stats. One sample with data. Variance stats, one sample with data. So you select the column, and then you have to select the hypothesis test. So it was sigma equals 0.004, and then the box asks you for the sigma square. So 0.004 square would be 0.000016. Okay, and then this one is less than, and compute. So 1.932 and p-value is 0.0013. So 1.932 two decimal places, 1.93. And p-value was 0.0013, so 0.001. And p is less than alpha, so it's less than 0.05. 0.001 is less than 0.05. Less than alpha, so then we reject the null. If p is less than alpha, and then we reject the null, there is evidence. The listed values are waiting times for customers at a bank, where customers enter a single waiting line that feeds 3 teller windows. Test the claim that the standard deviation of waiting time is less than 1.6. So we're testing standard deviation less than 1.6. And we have to go variance stats. So open in StatCrunch. Stats, variance stats. So once again, it's with data. Variance stats, one sample with data. You select the column and then you select the correct hypothesis. So we are testing whether standard deviation of waiting time is less than 1.6. So null would be equals to, now this one wants the standard deviation squared. So square of 1.6 is 2.56. And we are trying to see if it's less than. and compute. So the p-value is 0.0193, which is less than 0.05. So p is less than alpha. So we reject the null. And when we reject the null, which means that we reject this equals to 1.6, which means we go by the alternative, which says that the waiting time was less. So yeah, that's the correct one. And that finishes the section and the chapter.